we still don't even know the entire AEW roster yet. You know, there's going to be more big names announced possibly before May, before the first show even happens. I mean, I have a list here of the roster as it stands, right? There's been a lot of talk about different names. Here's the way the AEW roster looks as of today. We've got Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. They're sort of right at the top of the list there. Now, there was an interesting note on the Cage Side Seats website this week about Kota Ibushi being expected to work, and Kenny Omega said as much, that it won't happen right away, but he fully expects that we're going to see Kota Ibushi in AEW. Now, I would have to assume that Ibushi is still going to freelance in Japan, and I mean, the guy's like a horny bachelor. He's not interested in a committed relationship. He just cannot commit to one person. He cannot commit to one place. But even still, if they get Ibushi, hey, we may get that championship match between Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. Just not at Madison Square Garden. We'll get it for a completely different promotion, for a completely different title, but it's still possible. Cody and Brandy, the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, SCU, Pac, the Lucha Brothers. We've also got Joey Janela and Penelope Ford, or Penelope, as Booker T called her on his show. I got to tell you, for all that, look, I mispronounce names a lot too. I get some weird ass names sometimes on this show. No offense, and I can butcher them as well as anybody. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody butcher the name Penelope. I've never heard... I just have never heard Penelope as a pronunciation of that. I love Booker. I really do. Anyway, so Joey Janela and Penelope are in AEW. We've got the best friends, Beretta and Chucky T. We've got MJF, SEMA, Jungle Boy, Jimmy Havoc, Sammy Guevara, Britt Baker, Sonny Kiss, the former Exolicious I mentioned, Kylie Ray, Nyla Rose, and of course they're bringing in Aja Kong and Yuka Sakazaki for that first show. They've also announced partnerships so far with AAA and OWE out of China. I suspect there'll be more partnerships announced in the future. You would think that this is going to be a natural landing spot for Marty Scurll in a few months after his contract is up with Ring of Honor. I'm sure he'll be on his way in. And who knows who else? Remember, Jericho said they had about 6 to 8 names on their list of targets. I don't know if that was all from WWE. It might be. Those are the people that they're still eyeballing to bring in. And then there's Dean Ambrose, who is leaving. All of a sudden, all these people who at first were like, oh, it's a work. You're being worked, Solomonster. It's a work, bro. It's a work. All of a sudden, boy, they shut up real quick, didn't they? Boy, they shut up real fast. Dean Ambrose is going to be gone from WWE in a few months, and it's not a guarantee that he'll be an All Elite, but I'd say there's a pretty good shot that that's where he'll end up. I look at this, and there's still a few pieces missing. They need a couple more big names. I really think they need a couple more, and Dean Ambrose could be one. He would be a big name, but there's got to be somebody even bigger than him. I think they get 2 more people like that, and then just keep adding some tag teams. They need more women on the roster for the women's division. And then I think they'll have a full roster for a 2-hour television show. I just don't think they're there yet. You do that, put those pieces in place, and I think they'll be in good shape. The TV show, if I had to guess, I don't think it's coming until the end of the year. Fall at the earliest, maybe not even until early next year. So it's not like they're going to be on TV anytime soon in the next few months. We still have a ways to go before that. But a lot of these deals, again, I don't think are exclusive, at least not yet. So these people may be part of the AEW roster, but they're not necessarily exclusive to them. They're still working for MLW. They're still working for other promotions. And you look at something like the Phoenix injury from Friday night, thank God it wasn't anything too serious, but that's always the risk you run by allowing guys to wrestle elsewhere. It's sort of a double-edged sword, right? You're more likely to sign people and be appealing to people if they know that, hey, I'm not tied down to this one company. I could still work for my hometown promotion, or I could still, book my own shots and travel and do independent dates. So you get access to all of these different names that maybe WWE wouldn't in some cases because they're not willing to play ball. But you're also at the mercy of other promotions, right, when it comes to other injuries.